Hello, and thank you for joining us today on the Nuvio channel. This video will walk you through step by step on all of the aspects of the Nuvio portal from the admin user's account. As the admin user, you will have a different perspective on the portal, and your portal will look different than that of a user's portal. So this tutorial is for the admin users only. Let's go ahead and get started. To log into your portal, you're going to go to portal.nuvio.com. With your login information, let's go ahead and log in here. Okay, you are now logged in as the admin user. This is where you can make all of your changes and have complete control of the entire account. Let's go ahead and click on the admin tab up here above. Under the admin tab, we have a few different options up here, and as the admin user, you're able to view all of your users, all of your auto attendants, hunk groups, and do all configurations. Let's go ahead and start here with the tenant tab, which we're already on. Keep in mind a couple of things here. If you're unsure about one of these options and what they mean, you can go ahead and just hover over one of these question marks and they'll give you a little explanation as to what they mean. Also, these are just defaults for the entire organization as a whole. So every phone in your organization is going to have these settings as a default. So each user is going to have their own personal portal as well if they wish to change their voicemail password, for example, on their phone. Under the tenant tab here, we have the default prefix for your tenant, which would be your organization's area code, the default voicemail password that they're going to type into their phone or through their portal to check voicemails, the time zone of your organization, as well as an area to upload tenant hold music. If you make any changes here, just be sure to click Update Details here on the bottom to make sure that those changes have been made active. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the user management page here. Here on the user management page, you can view all of your users, auto attendants, hunk groups, etc. We typically give new customers 3 auto attendants to start with and 5 hunk groups. We provide 3 attendants so that you have a main one you can always use. We have a main one right here to the left, a second one you can use for holidays, and another auto attendant that you can use for an additional main one for other hours. Let's go ahead and start configuring your hunk groups. So here are the hunk groups down here at the bottom, these 5 right here, and I'm going to go ahead and click on Details next to the first hunk group. This allows the admin user to go ahead and go in and change the actual name of the hunk groups, the extension, and the login name. I went ahead and changed the hunk groups to the extensions in the 500 ranges here. Separating with different number schemes just helps avoid any confusion, and so we typically make our hunk groups in the 500 scheme, users in the 100 range, and the auto attendants in the 400 ranges. So we have this set to 500. Let's go ahead and click Update Details to make sure those changes have been saved. And let's now go back into that hunk group on Manage. So we're going back to the user management page. That first hunk group we just went to, let's click Manage next there. And here a new window opens up where you can see how you actually begin to build your hunk groups by selecting the various users in a sequence to be included. You can also choose to have them ring sequential by setting the simultaneously ring to false, or you can set simultaneously ring to true, and all of these users that you change will have their phones ring at the exact same time. You can also choose a final destination here at the bottom. You can have the final destination going to an actual user, and by clicking a user down here, or you can have it go to a voicemail or have no option here. You can also have it end up at an auto attendant. Whatever you choose would be fine. Down here at the bottom, we have hunk group timeout settings, and this just lets you know how many rings you can have before it reaches the final destination as well. Be sure to always click Update Hunk Group here at the bottom to make sure your changes have been made active. Let's go ahead and click Return up here on the right and go back into the admin page here. Clicking Admin at the top, back to the user management page. And let's move on to the auto attendant configuration. First off, let's change the extension numbers of these as well. So we have the auto attendants right here, these three. So once again, to change the number, we're going to go to details, just as we did in the hunt groups. And here you can change the details of the auto attendants, their names, their extension, login, and the time zone is definitely important here. So the extensions, we'll make those in the 400 ranges. So we'll change the main auto attendant to 400 and click Update Details here on the bottom to make sure those changes are now active. All right, let's go back to the users. Your second auto attendant here is 601. Let's change that to 401 by clicking Details, just to keep the auto attendants all in the same number scheme once again, just to avoid any confusion. And your last auto attendant here, we'll change that to 402. Details once again. The extension, change it to 402. Update details. And now if we go back into the user management page, we see our user has a number in the 100 range. All of the auto attendants are consecutively in the 400 ranges, and all of your hunt groups are in consecutive order in the 500 ranges. Now let's go ahead and manage your auto attendants. Starting with this first main auto attendant here, let's click Manage, and a new window will open up that lets you choose from a few different menus here in your main auto attendant. So let's drop down the main menu here, your day menu. Let's say, for example, your current attendant says, "Thank you for calling such and such company. If you know your party's extension, please enter it now. For sales, press 1. For customer service, press 2. For shipping, press 3. Let's say that we have a user named Bob who works in the sales department. So when you're prompted to press 1 at your attendant, you want that number to be extended to Bob's desk. We're going to click this top drop-down menu here to say Transfer by Extension, and we'll go to our user named Bob since he works in the sales department. Let's go ahead and click Save over here since we've made changes, and this will now ensure that your changes have been made active as you see a green light over here. If it's red, it will say Not Saved, so make sure that you're always saving your changes. Let's go ahead and take a look at the other options here in the drop-down menus. You have the option to have no action taken when someone presses 1. You have the option to transfer to an external number outside of your organization. However, as you can see here, if you click on this, you'll be prompted to accept the cost of 5 cents a minute for forwarding calls to an external number because it's outside of your Nuvio phone system. And then you can type in a number here for that transferred out to an external number. The transfer by extension we just went over as that went to Bob's user. You can transfer to another menu, a previous menu, or play a sound that you can upload here in the drop down here, or you can have it just exit. That covers all of the options under the number prompts. Here you can see the actions to change the name of your menu, to undo one of the changes you just made, to save your changes, to delete anything or create a new menu. And here are some menu sounds that are set up as defaults, but you can also upload any of your own sounds as well. Let's go ahead and move now into the Sound Manager tab up here above. Sound Manager page. This is where you can add your greetings by simply clicking on this Sound Manager tab up above and uploading your sounds down here below. Unfortunately, we will not be providing you with your own greetings, but you can record them yourself and upload them here, or you can have third parties do this and do your voiceovers for you. But this is the Sound Manager and where you're going to upload your sounds. Let's go ahead and move on to the Time of Day feature here up above. Here's where you can choose which menu to play based on the time of day. It's important to make sure you've selected the proper time zone, as you see listed up here in green, for your attendant to correspond with your time of day settings. So here down below, we can start by choosing the day, the start time and end time, and then which menu we want to be playing during these times. So say, for example, you want your day menus to ring from 7 o'clock a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. on Mondays. Let's go ahead and configure that. So we're going to go from the day to Monday. Start time 7 o'clock a.m., this first 7 o'clock, because these are set into military time, and the end time of 5 o'clock p.m., which is just under 1700 hours here. and we'll add the day menu here. Add menu right here at the bottom, and as you can see, that menu has been added to your time of day settings. Now let's add another one just to show over here a corresponding menu. Let's say on Mondays when the office is closed at 5 o'clock p.m. you want your night menu to be spoken on your auto attendant from 5 o'clock p.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. Let's go ahead and add the day Monday, the start time of 5 o'clock p.m., so this second one here at 1700, and ending at 9 p.m., which would be 21 hours here at the bottom here. And let's add that menu to be night menu and add. And as you can see in another color, it corresponds to this key down here below showing your night menu has now been added. Now if you want to delete any of these menus that you've created or make any sort of changes, just go ahead and click on the color scheme up here, and you'll be prompted with the question, are you sure you want to delete this menu from the schedule? And you can choose whether or not to do so. That is how you configure your time of day settings. So now let's go back into the other window that we had open that was on the user management page. Let's continue on down the line here as the admin user and go on to the devices tab. Here in the Devices tab, this will basically just show you the MAC ID numbers of your device, what extension they're associated to, and it's going to show you what number is being outpulsed from that device. On this demo, there's no devices found, but this is where yours will appear. Next, let's take a look at the Numbers tab here. Here is where you can control each telephone number that's associated with your account. By clicking on one of the numbers, here we just have this one here, you can choose from the drop-down box where you want the number to ring to.